Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I thought that we would go ahead and look at my Hobonichi weeks for the first 6 months of 2024. And I am excited to be feeling very peaceful in this planner again. We've had our ups and downs over the years, but really this is the one that I come back to more than others. So this is I want to keep this one updated no matter what else I might be playing around with in my planners, because this is the book that I archive every year. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sam and I love planners and pens and stationery of all kinds. And for all of my returning viewers, thanks so much for sticking it out with me and dealing with all of my planner nonsense. So we'll go ahead and get started with the flip through. So like I said, this is for January to July in my Hobonichi weeks. And I currently have this in a Sojourner folio. This folio is in the color Seed, and hopefully you can tell on camera, this is kind of a suede-like leather and it feels really nice. I really like it. And I have paired it with the natural leather, and this is called a designer pocket. I asked for a red elastic to go with the red stitching on the natural. I really just kind of wanted that pop of color with kind of a lighter color theme going on. And then there are a few card pockets here on the inside, and this is natural as well. Now I have been going back and forth with my planner, making whatever is my everyday carry also my wallet. And currently my wallet setup is in my personal rings because I was using that as my planner over the last week, and then updating my Hobonichi weeks in the evening. But we are getting ready to go out of town. We're going to go to Chicago this weekend to see Metallica again. Yes. I've had these tickets for like 2 years. And so I think that I'm probably not going to take personal rings with me. I'm going to only take my Hobonichi weeks and my large Moleskine, which I have been challenging myself every single day to do some kind of journaling. And since I'm going to be like out in a city, I'm not going to have my Hobonichi weeks with me like as we're going out and about in the city. So while I would normally be moving my cards back here, I think I'm just going to keep my cards in a really tiny Portland leather wallet for the week, because I think that I'll just throw that little wallet in my little belt bag. And I'm not going to carry my planner with me while I'm sightseeing or going to see Metallica. So yeah, this does work really well. And no, it looks really simple, but I keep 2 cards here. And then there are, oh, I don't think there's anything. Yeah, okay. So 2 card slots here. So they do work really well for holding your cards. And I use them when I'm using this as a planner wallet combination. So this year I ended up landing with the Cats and Me cover. It's not what I started with, but thankfully Tina reached out and offered me this when I had a complete meltdown over the Olive weeks, which I actually just broke down the other day and tossed a couple of Hobonichi weeks that were from previous years that I had like decided against and moved into another one because they were taking up some valuable space on my shelf. And yeah, so this is the planner that I ended up with this year. I won't bore you with that story, but I didn't get along with the leather weeks. This is my favorite thing to do every single year, is to set this up. And since we are already in the Hobonichi preview, I am already looking at my sticker collection and what I need to round out the rest of what I do here. I am thinking about doing like one of the whole cover it up with some paper, but I really like the Hobonichi print. So if I do put some paper here, I will also like kind of leave some of the Hobonichi where you can see it. And I might change my mind. I might give up on that whole idea too. So we'll see. Oh, I did get some kind of scrap today that I was going to add here. So I bought, I have been really good about buying mugs this year, but I found this one today at Marshall's, and I don't have restraint when it comes to holiday stuff. And it's August, it's the beginning of August, but I adore spooky time, and Halloween is a favorite for sure. So this came on my mug, kind of attached with a ribbon. Oh, I cut that knot right. Let me see if I can cut this side down a little bit too. This will turn into the, this will never be perfect no matter what I do. But I don't want that side to be rounded and that side to not. Anyway, so I thought about putting this here with my little ghosty. But yeah, so this is my favorite thing about the Hobonichi weeks. Just as I've used it and evolved with the way I like to decorate it. Okay, so I'll just need to trim that some more, but I'm not going to do that now. But yeah, so this is like my favorite, one of my favorite spots on my Hobonichi weeks, because I put a lot of thought into how I'm going to decorate this, and it just kind of shows my moods and it shows my personality, and so I really like that about this space. I feel like this year I've been trying. The only part that is still kind of not being used is the back pages, but I'm really trying, guys. So I've just been marking, oh, we had another one. So I've been marking these off as the months go on. Well, I'm only a few days into August, so I'm not worried about it, but I have been marking these off as we go. I don't really reference these much at all, but I like that they're here. I like most things about the Hobonichi weeks. And then this I use for my cycle tracking, and I've been keeping like my, I guess, the lowest weight I was at the beginning of the month. This has been a horrible, well, this has been a really difficult time for me because I'm in a weight loss journey and I've lost 76 pounds. My scale average has gone up a little bit the last couple of weeks, like a pound or two, depending on the day. And I'm just kind of ready to be at where I think I want to be. And I just was reading and listening to some things the other day that like perimenopause is not the time to be saying, okay, well, this is the weight I want to be. And I'm so fit and I'm healthy and I'm really proud of my progress, but not seeing any movement on the scale when I think that I should still be making movement on the scale is really difficult to kind of, you know, the two things aren't matching. And I have some issues with my eating and weight and eating disorders and stuff. So I'm trying to just stay positive. So I've been trying to do the not Sam thing because in my head is only negativity and sarcasm. And I've been trying to say kind things to myself and kind of tricking myself out. I don't know. But I'm not where I want to be, but I'm doing all of the right things all of the time. So you can't think badly about that. Okay, so I use my monthlies. I feel like this year they've been a little bit more plain and boring than they had possibly been in years past. Move that screen. I think the whole putting a month sticker here, I started that trend, by the way. Putting a month sticker here I kind of got away from, but I think I might go back to it for next year because I didn't do it this year because my intention, I don't have my old weeks. In the olive weeks, I put like the 1 through 31 habit tracker thing here and ended up not sticking with that. I don't know. I might try it again the last little bit of the year to see if it's something that I can get back into. It didn't work before because I wasn't staying consistent in this planner. Or in the Hobonichi weeks overall at the beginning of the year, but I've been very consistent now. So I don't have like a very busy life, and that's the way I like it. I like to be boring, but I just use my monthlies for appointments, places that we need to be, and birthdays, anniversaries, and like big events. So not a lot here. I didn't even write down Thanksgiving or Christmas or anything like that. Just the dates that I needed to remember because I can remember when Christmas is. All right, so I do not start my Hobonichi weeks early. I always see planners as January to December, and so I do not hop into it early. I hang on to my Hobonichi weeks for dear life, even if I'm really itching to try the new one. So I usually have blank pages at the start of the planner. And then sometimes if I end up getting like new pens, new washi and that kind of thing, I'll use that for that kind of thing, these pages. But I've been on a pretty low buy this year, so I haven't had a lot of different items to fill these pages with, and that is okay. So these were all back planned because I got the cat weeks a couple of months ago. So all of this is identical to what would have been in my olive weeks, including like the same kinds of stickers, unless I just couldn't get them out for some reason, because I also transferred all of the stickers over. But I feel like I'm pretty consistent with how I use my weeks. I've made some changes in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if I'll keep them or not. I was hoping that this flip through would kind of help me decide what I'm going to do in the future. So I've been pretty consistent with having this line. If you are new to Hobonichi, there's little tiny dots here on the lines, and it allows you to split this space into threes. So I always have the small space right here, and this section is for places that I need to be at certain times, my appointments, that kind of thing. And then this is a place for, it just depends on what the week looks like. I might put a sticker here, I might put a to-do list there, I put a little memory here more often than not. And then the side is kind of like the workhorse of habit tracking. This is usually where I track my workouts, my to-do list, and that sort of thing. And this space kind of sometimes evolves depending. I was timing all of my fasting for a long time this year, and now I just know that Monday through Friday I stop eating around 6, and I don't eat my first meal until around 11:30 most of the time. I allow myself 3 meals, sometimes Saturday, always Sunday. And yeah, so I just have decided that I don't care to track it anymore. So it just kind of depends on the mood. I think this page is sticky because of pulling these things up with the undo. But I used to always use my Tombow markers to kind of highlight those sections. I've kind of fallen off of that, but I think I'd like to get back to it. As you can see, my spreads are overall pretty functional, and so I like having little bits of something that kind of catch my eye as I'm flipping through the pages. But I don't mind them being functional. The pen that I'm generally using in my Hobonichi weeks, these are U brands, and they're felt tip pens, and I kind of go through them pretty quickly. Not that I wouldn't be able to use them, but because I have a heavy hand, I feel like the tips get kind of angled. I try to like spin my pen as I'm using it so it like wears down evenly, but then it'll get like a tip, and then I feel like my handwriting is getting messy, and then I know it's time to change pens. But you can get these on Amazon. I have them linked in my favorites there, but you can also get them at Walmart, Target, and they have different designs. Actually, Walmart has some of the cuter designs that you can find in stores. Target only has like the single color ones. Yeah, but these are my favorite pens in the Hobonichi weeks by far so far. All right, so here is February. Again, just minimal decoration. Sometimes I use washi, sometimes I don't use washi. This year it's been kind of less of a washi year. I have a couple of less used pages. We were really sick this week, and I wasn't planning anywhere. And what was I tracking? Because I was barely moving out of my bed or caring for people in my house who were also sick. So yeah. I also like to kind of go between using that U brands to make the line and using the finer part of a Tombow brush marker to signify that dividing line. I still have not found what planner I used for this week or this week. I was really struggling at that time, like emotionally. I've talked many times now. I'm in perimenopause, and it's been causing me a lot of anxiety, and I just feel, well, I'm feeling better now, but at the time I was feeling really stressed. So I took 2 birth control pills, not for birth control, but for trying to help my hormones, and I ended up having a lot of stomach issues with that. You know, I got a regular cycle because it's not real. And my mood changed. I wasn't as anxious, but it was causing me like I felt like I had an ulcer, but I didn't have an ulcer. So I was having a lot of trouble with my stomach and eating. And Yeah, so I ended up coming off of the hormones and now I'm on HRT. And just kind of a side note, so sorry for any guys or younger ladies that are watching, but it'll happen to you younger ladies eventually. Please, if you start having like weird symptoms and you just don't feel like yourself and you're like late 30s, early 40s, it's probably perimenopause and you can feel pretty crazy. And go to your doctor and they can help you. I'm on HRT now, hormone replacement therapy, and I'm already feeling much better, and it hasn't even been a month yet. So I'm gonna just give you that solid, don't delay, just go. And they don't have to do tests, they can go by your symptoms. And so write all your symptoms down and then take it to your doctor and see if they can help you. Anyway, moving on. I do want to mention that I have applied and been added to a PR team for the first time in a while. I don't know, it's so much work, and I don't, like, I'd rather just share and not have to like check off boxes and like follow rules and stuff. And I usually just shop from shops that I love, but I love this shop so much. It's LA Florals, and Lauren she just has some really fun designs, and I love her stickers. And she has lots of like bookish ghosties and just fun ghosties and some other things that you'll see through here. But I joined her PR team because I love her shop. And so I'll be on her team for a few months now. I already had a code, Sam10, and she just kindly shared that with me just because. So it's gonna stay the same code while I'm on her team. But if you use that, you get like you get 10% off, and then you get my little sticker sheet. That's a freebie. So if you're interested, I will leave the link to her shop below. These are also from her shop. So these little books and this little mushroom house. You guys know how much I love mushrooms. So yeah, I don't put a lot of stuff in my planner, but when I do, I use her shop, Coffee Monsters Co., a couple of other shops. But I don't usually put a ton of deco in here, but when I do, it's because I really, really love it. I feel like we have witnessed some like really cool stuff this year. The total solar eclipse was in my area, and that was awesome. And then we saw the Aurora Borealis, and that was super cool. I feel like it's just been a pretty interesting year this year. Isn't that cute? So yeah, back and forth with a little bit of something and nothing other weeks. But I think that for the most part, I am a very functional planner. But I do like to have little pretty things in here and there. So yeah, you can tell when I'm using it alone because I feel like I have more stuff in here and it's a little bit sloppier looking, which is also fine. 4th of July. So I guess I'm just a holiday person because I love the 4th of July. I love Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. And those are like my big ones. I don't know if you asked me to pick a favorite, I don't know if I could, but I love seeing fireworks, especially. This year it rained, it poured during fireworks, but they let them off anyway, and they were still just as beautiful as they would have been. This little butterfly is also from LA Florals. You can see I got a Portland leather order this week. Yeah, I've had a lot. I'm trying to acknowledge my successes because they're becoming really, really difficult to get to different markers in my weight loss journey, but I'm like showing up every single day and doing the thing, no matter if the scale shows me the same weight for 4 months, which it did. I am just still chugging along and doing the whole thing. So here you can see that I changed a patch on Thursday, that I was really anxious this day. I finished a boot camp, which was really, really hard with the fitness plan that it's like an on-demand like club. It's called Les Mills. I love them. But I completed a challenge that was 3 weeks and it was really hard, and I'm really proud of myself. So I was putting that because that's a really big thing for me. Here I went back. Yes, this was the first week that I went back to tracking the weather, just kind of to break up the look. And so right now I'm kind of like, do I want to do this where I have all of this space, or do I want the weather because it's interesting looking? And I also like looking at the weather. I don't know, it's whatever. I think I'll probably stick with it. I just decided, yeah, gonna stick with that. So that leads us to August, which is as far as we get with the weeklies. And I don't generally do anything ahead, maybe like a week, but I generally am waiting to write things down. Don't know why. Let's see. So I really have historically sucked with these pages in the back. Some of these are like journaling. And like I said, I've had some pretty anxious time, so I probably won't show you those pages. This is ultimately what I would like for these pages to look like. Running to-do list or grocery lists and a little bit of journaling. I did try to go back to fountain pen. I did try to go back to fountain pen. I feel like I don't want to share these pages. So I feel like I try to go back to fountain pen, and for whatever reason, I am just not feeling the fountain pen these days. I tried, but we're just not making friends, and I'm just gonna stick with this pen here to do my journaling in the back. I have also been, like I said in the beginning of the video, been using the Moleskine large daily planner, and I use my favorite Camel Sarasa vintage pen in there, and I will probably forever love that combination. But for anything that happens in here, like I think I'll also keep the large Moleskine at the end of the year, but I know that I'm going to keep the weeks. So any kind of ephemera and stuff that happens this week in Chicago, I'm gonna put in here because it's a sure thing. But yeah, so that's only page 14 because I really suck at this. But I think that I'm going to challenge myself. Instead of using like my little pen and gear notebook for the rest of the year, I'm gonna see about putting daily to-do lists in here just to see how much, I don't have much time because by next month we'll probably be receiving our Hobonichi orders for those of us who like to order them ahead. So I feel like I don't have much time to map out if I need a regular or a mega. Now my last video I said for sure I was gonna use a regular, but if I'm consistent with doing like daily stuff, it's possible I might need to get one of each and then see where I am at the end of the year. And then I don't know what I'm saying. Time will tell. But I'm gonna try to make this the space in the back. And then I always get to, well, what about the lists and what about that? But here's the thing I've been thinking. If I could take like messy notes from like podcasts or whatever and write them down like on a scratch piece of paper and they become important enough that I want to archive them, maybe I can think of a way to make the reason why I always jump back to rings, because of being able to file things away, work with a bound book. Help me figure this out, because I feel like somebody out there is smarter than me. And then I have been using the My 100, but I've been using it for like milestones in like my life, what I see in my life around me, and culture things and that kind of thing. I feel like they're pretty important to like me alone, and so I'm not going to share that right now either. This 365 list, which I have definitely fallen off the wagon with this, because I can't find my one zig dot marker. Now I didn't put that here, but if you've seen throughout the weeks, I always put what day of the year it is at Sunday, so that when I go back through here, I've been tracking my workouts. So when I go back through here, I'll be able to more easily see, okay, I worked out every day from 2 whatever to 2:10. And so I can go through really quickly and dot. If I don't find this today, I'm going to have to order another one because I don't want to change colors. And I don't want to use a different kind of marker. I want it to be consistent. So yeah. And then the only other thing really back here is my pen test page, which I always think is really silly. Because I always choose this particular page to scribble on. And I'm always like, okay, this is going to be the time that I'm going to feel more comfortable with a different pen. And so I've tried all the pens. And the thing is, I think that it would work, except for if the weeks had a grid over here, I think I would feel more comfortable with using a different pen. The reason why this is like the magic secret sauce for me is because I feel like at least the current Tomoe River paper feels slick. And so when I use a gel pen, of course there's the smearing issue, which is everybody knows that's a thing. But as far as why I don't use other pens, even though otherwise the Uniball Jetstream is my favorite pen that I use everywhere for everything, I always feel like this particular pen, now I won't be able to find that spot. This pen, when I'm using it, I just feel like it kind of, if I have something to follow, I feel like I can have the control that I want, but with a space that doesn't have anything to follow, I feel like I'm more apt. I can't follow a straight line in my head on paper to save my life. And you can see that because things are uneven through here. But it gets worse for whatever reason with this kind of pen. And I feel like I don't have the control that I need. But when I'm using one of these pens, I feel like I'm forced to go a little bit more slow and steady, and I feel I can make my handwriting just a little bit smaller than it wants to be naturally. And it also dries pretty quickly, and I can highlight over it with my Tombos. So I feel like it checks all the boxes for me, even if I say that and then tomorrow get annoyed that I can't use a different pen than this pen. Because sometimes, you know, I like stationery, it's my hobby, and so sometimes I just want to use any pen and it doesn't work in the Hobonichi weeks, and then I'll get mad and I'll go back to rings, and that's how we live our life. But yeah, so these pens work for me because of the things I just told you. Oh, these are the ones that you would find at Target, and they're really pretty, but I've used them for years now, so I like to use something different every now and again. And then the Sojourner covers, she never does a pen loop, which is fine. That's her design choice, but I need a pen loop to survive. So I just got a really cheap pack of these sticky elastic pen loops on Amazon, and I stuck it to, I don't know, it's a pencil board from Hobonichi from I don't know what year. It's been several years now. But that is what my weeks looks like right now. And I'm really hoping that by the time I come back here for a full year flip through, that all of those back pages have gotten figured out for the first time in my life, and I have lots of things to show you back there. If not, it's okay. I feel like using the bulk of the planner to its advantage, and so I'm not going to feel guilty about it or anything, but I would like to feel like I figured the back out for the first time ever. So yeah, that's my flip through. I hope that you enjoyed it. Are you using a Hobonichi Weeks? Thinking about using a Hobonichi Weeks? Like I said, September 1st, we're going to get to order 2025, and I am stalking that preview like crazy because I am so excited for the release. Right now, I only have plans to get the weeks, but who knows? Oh, I'll also get a cousin for my husband because even though he's not using it consistently, he is really enjoying it. So I'll be ordering one of those for him as well, at least. So I'll be able to share that. I'm so excited about the Hobonichi time. It's crazy. Anyway, I hope that you like this flip through. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future content, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for always watching and participating in the comments. I love to hear from you all. I hope to see you again soon. Bye, guys.